Hi everyone, and welcome to Midlife Awakening with Natasha. So great to see you. As you know, it's been a couple of weeks, or probably nearly 3 weeks actually, since I done a podcast. We had our annual couple of weeks holidays where my husband and I shut down our workshop and just have a nice break. So that was really good. Obviously in the first week we had Christmas and everything, so it was just catching up with family and friends. Then in the second week, my husband and I were lucky enough to have a 2-bedroom cottage out at Somerset Dam. I'd been to Somerset Dam, it would have to be at least 6 years ago, if not more. And I really loved it, and I just had this big calling to go back, and I did, and it was amazing. I love the view. It doesn't matter where you sort of drive around the whole place, which my husband and I done one day, and just looking at it from all its different angles, it's still really beautiful no matter where you look at it from. And it's just such a lovely, peaceful area, even with the jet skis and boats going. But like just where we were was a little bit behind the dam wall. There was like a lovely little stream, and there was lots of bird life and like nature, and it was just so lovely just to be amongst that and just have that complete break from everything. Because even when you're at home, I don't know about you, but me personally, I find things to do, and I find that I'm not really having a break because I'm still doing heaps of stuff at home. So it was great just to detach from that completely and just go and just be in the moment. And it was such a great moment. Such a great holiday, I should say. And it was really lovely to be able to share that with my husband. And we just had a really lovely couple of days together. And yeah, it was amazing. So it's like Happy New Year. I know we're a couple of weeks in already, but we're here. I'm happy to report that one of my New Year's resolutions, which was water consumption, has definitely gone up. I've got a beautiful water bottle because my thing is I really like to have cold water. I hate lukewarm water, room temperature. So this drink bottle I got, it keeps the water cold all day. So I'm finding myself drinking a lot more of it, which is positive. So also just that exploration of, getting into my true self. Once again, the universe has just opened up so many doors for me, and it's like I'm bombarded with information at the moment. So I'm just trying to sort of work my way through it and like take some time and sit with different things and just see if that's something that I want to do. So it's just been really great. I had I'm not going to say it right. I had a special massage, let's just say that. A different style of massage that I haven't had before, because I was having some really bad back pain and hip pain. It still was very present a couple of days after, and the lady did say that there'd be a shift and things would move, and it did. And yeah, I don't have it anymore. So after this today, I'm going to go and have another one of those massages because I just can't deal with the back pain and the hip pain. It's not fun. So something else really exciting over the break. As I said, my sister introduced me to a Sunshine Coast spiritual group, and there's lots of like people there that sort of put up their offerings and all that sort of thing. And I had this lovely lady by also the name of Natasha, was offering some women's empowerment photo shoots. And I loved the photos immediately, and I was just like, I want to do that for myself. I've always been the sort of person that like I'll even do photo shoots for other people. I know I've done my sister's some maternity photos for my sister, and I'm sort of always the one behind the camera. Like I organise family photo shoots and I run around and make sure everyone's good. But I took this opportunity just to do this 100% totally just for me. And I was like, I was nervous, excited, scared. Like, it was so many things, and she let me choose the location. So I chose the Budrum Falls because I absolutely love it there. It's like my sanctuary. I love the waterfalls and, you know, the rocks and the rainforest setting. It's just so lovely, and I just wanted to be that empowered version of myself in that space. So in the morning when I woke up yesterday morning, it was raining, and I'm just like, oh, this can't be happening. Seriously? So then it's like, well, why am I bothering trying to do my hair and makeup? Because it's gonna, like, the humidity in the air, my hair's just gonna fluff up. The makeup's just gonna run off me because it's just been so humid. And I'm like, oh. And then I realized I was actually having a conversation with my ego. It was like, these photos aren't gonna look any good unless you have your hair and makeup done. And I was just like, and then the other part of me was like, it's a women's empowerment photo shoot. Go as 100% who you are without a mask. And whoa, what a conversation internally that was happening. And so it was like, I was really struggling with it. I'm like, oh my God, these photos are gonna be shit because I don't have any hair and makeup. And then the other one's like, isn't it gonna be just so amazing when it's just you and it's just whatever? So wrestled with that. Then the sort of rain started to, like, you know, just become from constant rain into just showers. To by the time I got there, it was basically like non-existent. The photographer was like even on the edge of cancelling due to the rain, but I was like, oh, can we please do this? You know, I'm ready. I've been really having some internal struggles this morning. I said, but I've worked my way through it. I'd really like to continue on with this if we can, please. Like, I understand your equipment's worth a lot of money, so if it's pouring, I get it. Yep, I totally understand. So I did let her know that I was going to one particular part, the Harry's on Budrum restaurant, and sort of walking in from that way because it was flatter for me. I don't do well with stairs and hills and stuff. So, you know, I let her know that that's where I was going. So, you know, once I got there, I sent her a message, said, oh, hey, I'm here, blah, blah, blah. I'm in this sort of car. And then next minute she called me. She said, oh, well, my GPS has taken me. It looks like it's up the top. And she said, oh, well, what I thought she said was, I'll meet you at the first lot of pools. And I'm like, okay, well, I'll start walking and I'll meet you there. And to cut a long story short, I got to the waterfall where I had visioned in my head where I wanted to have the photos done. Sort of stood there for like 5-10 minutes, and I'm like, I don't think she's coming. So I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm gonna have to walk all the way up this friggin' hill, which I didn't want to do because I knew I just not fit enough to do it. But somehow I did it. I got all the way up to the top and she wasn't there. So by that stage, my ego was going to town. It's like, this is fucked. You're hot, you're sweaty, you're this, you're that. Now she's not even here. And it was just saying all this horrible stuff. And then unfortunately, my husband decided to call me and say, oh, hey, your photographer's called me because she can't get onto you. She's now down at your car. And I'm like, I said, and I was very grumpy. I'll be honest. I was very grumpy. I was hot. I just hate being hot and bothered and everything. And I just said, well, you can just tell her that I'm at the massive waterfall with the big bridge over the top, and I will stay there and I will wait for her. So she eventually came, which was good. And because, you know, and at that stage I was just fuming. There was probably steam coming off my head. And when I got back down to the falls before she came, I was just like, oh, I know she said she was going to do some dry photos first, but you know what? I'm already hot and bothered and everything, so I just dived straight into water. I was playing around and just trying to get all the negativity off me before I had the photo shoot, because I didn't want that to come across in the photos. So then finally she got there, and she's absolutely lovely lady. Oh, beautiful, beautiful soul. Yeah, and there we had some amazing, like there's some amazing like positions, sort of like where I was in the water, and what she does is that like she'll buy like a 4 meter length of really nice satiny material, and that's sort of what we use as a makeshift dress. I couldn't decide on one color, so I chose two, and like, you know, just different positions, like sort of half sitting on a rock with the dress sort of flowing in the water, and then, you know, up on this big rock and sort of just, you know, looking out, looking back. And then we ended up on, there was this like massive tree that was fallen in front of like the waterfall and the actual pond thing itself. And I said, oh, what about up there? And she's like, can you make it up there? And I'm like, yeah, I got this. So I got up there and I was bloody posing, and then there was like rock things where I sort of got in the rocks and that sort of thing, and I was really, really into it. Once we got there, I managed to let go of the other stuff before she got there, and by the time that she got there, it was just really amazing working with her and everything. Like, I'm really excited. Like she said, it'll be about a week till I get the photos, but yeah, some of them like coming through the waterfall and stuff, like, ooh, can't wait to see them. Like, just so powerful, and just I was really in the moment. And then obviously while we were doing the photos, it was like cloudy and a bit funny, and then the one bit where I was sort of lying on this big tree that had fallen, and she said, you know, like, look up and close your eyes. And then as I did that, I just had this biggest beam of light come on my face, like I could see it through my eyelids. It was just like, oh, and I sort of just like really soaked it in. I was really soaking in the moment, which was really nice. So yeah, I totally went with it. Probably done some stuff that I don't normally do, but I was just like, oh, I'm just having so much fun. I just want to give this a go and do my best so the photos come out amazing. And I did. There was nothing there. I totally surrendered to the experience, which was really good for me. So yeah, but at the end she sort of said to me, oh, you know, I've got all these, you know, photos, blah, blah, blah. Then she said, would you believe I've taken 800 pictures? And I'm like, whoa. And I'm only supposed to be getting 10 edited image ones. So that's a bit different. And then she's also going to do like a reel up for me, as well as the behind the scenes of the photo shoot, which I'm really excited to see as well. So yeah, but as she was sort of like, oh, this is what I got, this is like 800 photos, and she was sort of going back through it, and my mind went, oh my God, Natasha, look at those fat rolls. And then I was just like, don't you dare, don't you dare. This is you, stop it. This is what we're working against. It's a constant battle. I haven't just had my awakening and then gone, oh, this is amazing, I'm so positive, and I'm this and I'm that and I'm whatever. You definitely have to put in the work. Definitely have to put in the work. And, you know, there is going to be times where, well, I call it my ego, but you might call it something else, or the other Natasha, or whatever. I do it. It is a constant battle, but I can definitely say that since my awakening, it's got a lot easier, because I'm a lot more stronger in myself. So it's definitely got easier. Another example of this was at work. I parked out on the street, and there's this guy that parks across his driveway, but then he sort of goes back into the car park that's marked out behind it, and mine was in the car park marked out behind it. And I'm not lying to you when I say it was like an inch off my front bull bar. And, you know, old Tash, she would have greatly just fucking backed it up and run up and freaking banned you at the bum. But I didn't. I'm pleased to say. I backed back, and because I specifically knew that he was going to do what he was going to do, so I left room for the person that was behind me, that, you know, if they needed to get out, there was heaps of room, but also if I needed to back, there was plenty of room. So I did that, and I backed back, but when I got there, he was standing on his front deck. Like, he didn't say, oh, hey, I know I'm close to your car, can I move it? Which is what any normal person would have done, but I don't think you're normal. So as I got in my car, sort of my ego took over and went, and as I'm getting in the car, I said, I'll fucking hit that car in a minute. And then I backed back and I took off with a lot of grunt and anger in the car, taking it out in the car, which I don't like doing. And that evening, my husband made a comment about how I took off and blah, blah, blah. And he was starting to give me a lecture. And I said, it's okay. You don't need to do that. I said, I've already learned that my ego was letting him bother me with his actions, which then made me act in the way that I acted. But I've learnt that lesson, and I'm going to move on from that. I'm no longer going to let him do that, because I don't want to damage my car just because he's a so-and-so person, because that's not who I am. So yeah, that was my lesson. So, and it was really good shutting my husband down, saying, it's okay, you don't need to give me a lecture. I have already given myself a lecture. It's all good. I'm learning every day. And that's what it's all about. Like, having that moment of awakening was really great for me. That gave me a lot more confidence in being able to make better decisions for myself and follow my truth and be a little bit more, you know, who I want to be. And I've said it for years and years. Like, I want to be calm and peaceful and understanding and all this stuff. But I sort of got to something hard, and then instantly it was like a knee-jerk reaction that it would flip. And I'm proud to say that I've come a long way, but as I also said, I'm still working on it, because obviously if the subject matter is passionate to me or something like that, I tend to go back to knee-jerk reactions, but I'm trying to take a breath and think before I react. But sometimes when you're in the heat of the moment, stuff happens, but I'm definitely working on that also. Because that's all you can do. And that's it, eh? You just always got to be a student. I'm listening to Dr. Wayne Dwyer at the moment, and he says that you should always be a student and always be open to learning new things, because that's what it's all about. Life's about learning. If you're a teacher and you think you know everything, then you're a bit arrogant and you're not open to life and the possibility of new things. Where I'm at a place where I am, and as I said, in the new year I was going to look at doing some, like, diving into my true self and exploring my spirituality and stuff a little bit more. And I was sort of explaining it to my husband in the car. It's like I'm spiritual, and there's things out there that I want to do and explore, but I don't think I could ever be like, there is some people out there, and if this works for them, then that's fantastic, and all the power to you. But there's some people out there that are like very out there, and I said to my husband, I don't think that like I could get. That's not where I want to go, if that makes sense. I don't want to get like completely like that. Like, there's some things that I like and that I couldn't imagine getting rid of in my life. So I'm trying to find my happy medium where I don't go completely cuckoo, but I'm still connecting with that side of myself, honouring it and doing stuff, that fills my cup up, and all that sort of thing. So there's so much that's been coming through to me. As I said, just trying that new style of massage was a big step for me. Then during the new year, I signed up to do a Manifest Magic course with Cleo from Pass Around the Smile. It was like a group Zoom sort of thing, and you got a workbook, and you spent your time sort of, there was some meditations, and then you sort of, she'd done a workbook that you printed out, and that you worked through some of those questions and what could be blocking you from manifesting what you want. And and it was really good. There was 2 Zoom sort of meetings, talks, whatever you want to call it, and I had the opportunity to, ask her a question or tell her something, and that was really, really, really nice to connect with her. And she was actually talking to you directly, and I found that really nice. Definitely helped me. So obviously one of the things that I spoke about was that I'm very good at if I've got the time and the space, I can get into my bubble, into my state very easily. But it just feels like then when those external factors come in, like your responsibilities, I'm a mum, I'm a wife, I'm a business owner, I'm trying to fit in spirituality, I'm trying to keep my house clean and things, just trying to keep it all together. And definitely when those external things come in, it's like, oh my God. And I was struggling with that. And so I asked the question, how can I, what's a way that, you can do something to stop this from happening, because it's one thing to get yourself into that mind state, which I'm very good at, but then keeping it there was difficult for me. So she said about the bubble, and it was really funny because I'd actually heard about the bubble, years before, probably up to 10 years ago, maybe. I used to have, her name was Benny, and she was a 5-touch therapy person. And she really helped me. At the time, I've had some great people come into my life, but I guess I just wasn't ready and fully committed to surrendering and stuff. And maybe I was still a bit woohoo, that's a bit woohoo for me, or whatever I was doing. But anyway, she used to say, Natasha, you need to get yourself into this bubble, and everything you step into it. And what I've been finding works for me is if I meditate in the morning and visualize that I'm putting this bubble around me, and everything inside this bubble is what I want to be, who I want to be, how, my surroundings, and that I'm, that I'm able to, deal with things that come up in life, calmly, and, be respectful of other people, and put boundaries in place for myself so that I have space to do what I want to do, and just putting that all into that space, and then just putting a big bubble around you. It's like an energy field of protection against all these negative things that come into your life, and I can look at them now as teachers. It's teaching me something. It's a lesson when difficulty arises, and how I handle it. It's like my superpower. If I get through a tough situation and I've handled it really well, I give myself a pat on the back, go, that was great. That was great. You need to keep up the good work, And you can be assertive, and there's a difference between assertive and getting angry, and I can honestly say that I used to get angry a lot. Now I work more on just being assertive. I'm going to tell you how it is, and I'm really sorry if you don't like it. Yeah, and here's an example. I had a customer, obviously something happened with their car, it broke down, and I done a quote up, and I rang him and I said, okay, and it was, a safety part of his car, so it was something that needed to be done. I rang him and I told him what the quote was, and he said, oh, okay, yeah, go ahead with that, but I'm not going to be able to pay you the whole amount. And I was a bit taken aback, and then I sort of kicked into, okay, and something that my husband and I have always put in place in our workshop is that the car needs to be paid for before it leaves. We've done the work, so you pay your bill. You don't, and this person was like, and I just said, I'm sorry, but ever since my husband and I started the workshop, I said it's on our new customer form that we only operate on COD, which is cash on delivery. I'm really sorry. And he goes, oh, well, I'm a long time customer, so you know, that'll be fine. And I thought in my head, you know, you're a long time customer of Coles and Woolworths too, but I'm sure if you got to the checkout and said to the Sheila, oh, I can only pay half of that, but I'm a regular customer, so I'll come back and pay the rest next week or whatever. Do you think they're going to allow that? The answer is no. So my boundary and my assertiveness put in place and said, listen, I am sorry, but that is our policy. It's been our policy since day one. And I said, we have put that in place because where we've worked in the past, we've let these, you know, reliable customers go without paying because, you know, they were regular customers and then they just never come back. So yeah, that's something that we've put in place. And yes, yeah, I'm not a bank. And I'm the sort of person that if you give me a bill and you've done the work, I'll pay it straight away, like no questions asked, because that's just the sort of person I am, because you treat others the way that you want to be treated. So if you've done the work and you give me a bill, I'm going to pay it straight away. Thank you so much for doing the work. I appreciate it. You know, and they really appreciate it too. So it just goes hand in hand. And yeah, I just can't grasp the concept of I can't pay it. Like, yeah. And I know that everyone's financial situations are different. But yeah, like it was hundreds, not thousands, but not that that makes any difference. The reason that we do a quote and ring up is so that we can, you know, let you know how much it's going to be and give you the option to proceed or not proceed. Being the brake element of the car though, it was just something that had to be done. But yeah, so moving on from that. So as I said, there's been a lot of things coming into my life since I've sort of opened myself up to exploring these you know, new aspects of myself and finding things that I love to do and everything like that. So there's been a couple of courses that have come up. So I'm starting, even though I sort of know the basics of mindfulness and meditation, I sort of have never dived into it completely. So I'm just doing a course in regards to that, and just on the Tuesday night for like 4 weeks, just so I get like the right foundation. Like I know what I'm doing, but I'm not really 100%. So, you know, so I'm going to go and do that so I can make my practice a bit more stable and do all that. So I'm really looking forward to that course. Then there's another, like a spiritual sort of a lady who that I've made an appointment to do a 2-hour sort of like a reading / something with her, you know, just to help me along on my spiritual journey. Like I know that a lot of the work is definitely myself, and I feel like I'm doing that, but I just feel like I need that tiny bit more help to sort of get me where I want to be. Like I want to dive in there more and explore this, but I'm just not 100% sure on how to do that. So done a lot of reading on this lady, and she seems like she's like really onto it. So I'm really excited about doing that work with her. Yeah, just evolving, just becoming a better version of myself. And you know, it's letting go of the anger and the hate, and you know, and I used to find it really hard to forgive people. You know, if someone's done something to you, sort of hold that resentment and hate and everything. But I'm so glad to say that, you know, I'm in a place where, you know, I've been able to forgive and let go, because it's the only person that's hurting is me, and I don't want to deal with it. I don't want to deal with that anymore. I want to live my life free of all that. want to hear your hate and everything. People do stuff because, you know, sometimes they have work to do on themselves, and it's so amazing now how I'm able to see that in other people. Like, someone will be acting, you know, challenging, and you're just like, yeah, you've got some work to do. And forgiving and letting go, it's just really helped me. Like, you can't hold on to it, because the only person that it's going to hurt is you, unfortunately. And it took me a long time. I can't tell you, like, in this past 6 months. So holding on to all that holding on to some stuff for so many years was just, it was heavy. It was very heavy. So being able to release that has been very beneficial on my part as well. And, you know, giving up, I have to say, another big one for me that I have been struggling with, especially over the holidays, you know, when you've got everyone at home and all this is happening, and it's just that control. I could see in myself that I was sort of wanting to control the situation, but in the end it was just hurting me too much, and I just had to let it go and just let life unfold and go with the flow, because it was too hard trying to push against it and having expectations. Expectations are the worst. And I've dealt with that for years, like having expectations and then things not happening. Like, you know, you got to do stuff for yourself. You can't expect that stuff to come from external sources. And that was a big one for me to learn. Yeah, you got to do stuff for you. You got to be there for yourself, and you got to talk to yourself positively, kind and lovingly. You know, because I mean, at the end of the day, with my awakening, it was like, okay, this is how you are. But what hasn't your body done for you? Like, you've had 2 children. You can walk, run, bend, stretch, do everything. Like, it's nothing that you're not capable of. It's just that you've got this excess weight, but what has this excess weight really stopped you from doing? You know? And, you know, there's probably people that sit back in judgment and go, oh, she must just sit around and eat all day and not exercise and not do this and not do that and not do that. Well, the fact that it's really none of your business, but if you actually sat down and got to know me, that I actually have a very active job. You know, I take my dogs for walks. I go out and spend time with my horse, which I'm constantly walking around with him and everything. So I let go of that. I was just like, you know what? Don't beat yourself up that you're not doing enough, because you so are. You know? You so are doing enough. No, I'm not a bloody marathon friggin' swimmer, rider, runner. Never have been, never will be. And it's the funniest thing, isn't it, that, you know, even at my skinniest, when I was like a size 12, and I just started going out with my husband. Obviously, I was only like 15. But isn't it funny how you can, I remember thinking to myself, oh my God, I'm so fat. Oh, Natasha, I wish I could go back there and slap you into this year. Natasha, you've always been beautiful. Yes, you've changed, but you've had children and things have happened. Like, you've had depression. Like, give yourself a high five. You know, you got through that. You've got through all that. You've got to the other side, actually starting to see this beautiful light. But there's work to get there. And I'm willing to do that work, because it's such an amazing place to go into. So amazing. So, yeah. So many things happening, but yeah, I just wanted to check in. Today wasn't really about anything in particular, but just wanted to connect with everybody again, sort of get into the new year and doing some, new things. And yeah, I look forward to what's coming up this year and sharing more of my journey with you guys. I can't wait to share my photos with you. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing them and also sharing with you how I go with this spiritual teacher and everything. I want to share my journey with you. And if it resonates with you and it's something you want to explore, then know that you can. But you need to find that internal go to get going. So thank you very much, guys, and I will see you next time.